name is Dean Bostic, and welcome back to my television show, Charities. For the few of those that haven't seen my show, I increase awareness of local charities, nonprofits, fundraisers, give them more exposure and knowledge to the public about what they do. And today we have a returning guest, Mr. Joe Adamson, with Kitsap Homes of Compassion. And he's our returning guest from last week. He's got a lot of things to talk about. They've got an idea to help decrease homelessness and abolish homelessness in Kitsap County. A lot of good information. So thank you, sir. Welcome back.
Thank you, Dean. Thanks
really
for having me.
Coming back.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. So we'll pick up with, well, actually, first tell us a mission statement about Homes of Compassion and just briefly what it means to you. Then we'll go to our next questions.
Yeah, our mission here is to end homelessness in Kitsap County. We believe outside homelessness, the people who are living outside, either in their cars or on the streets or in shelters, it's possible for our community to create enough affordable housing that they can secure that housing and no longer be homeless. Over a period of 3 years, we believe it's possible with help with other organizations that are working to create affordable housing. Working together, our community can eliminate homelessness, at least 95% of it. There may be 5% that don't want to be housed, but for the vast majority, we can eliminate homelessness.
Wow, that is a pretty lofty goal. You think it'll happen?
I think it will happen. I can show you a graph of our timeline of how we think this will work, and I will discuss this chart here that they'll be putting on the screen here. And in this graph, you can see we started in September a year ago, 2018. We are opening one house every month. And we've opened 12 houses now, and each house houses about 4 or 5 people. What we do is we lease houses, and then we sublet them by the room to those that are homeless.
Yeah.
And so we've created over 50 rooms that are affordable rooms, and we plan to continue this until, on this graph you can see here, until January we're going to start opening 2 houses per month. So we plan to open 24 additional houses next year in the year 2020. And then in 2021 we'll plan to open 5 houses every month. And within 1 year, I believe we will have reached a point where there will be no longer any homeless needing homes, because we'll have created enough homes that everybody who needs a home will have a home. There's a certain percentage of people who cannot live in a shared home environment because they basically rent out the bedroom and then they share the living room and kitchen with the other housemates. And there are some people, because of their illness or their disability, that they're unable to live in a shared housing environment. But Kitsap Mental Health is building, you probably heard of the Pendleton Place. They're building a $20 million beautiful apartment building that will have 24-hour staff and nurses on call. So people that are not able to live in a shared housing environment, that are a more serious situation, they should be able to help with that. So in working in an effort with the other agencies, organizations in Kitsap County, I think we can end homelessness.
Wow, that is so huge. I mean, somebody actually taking the time and study and research. He's got a stack of research here. He's got a stack and folder full of good stuff. So I really appreciate it. And I'm sure a lot of people that are on the streets appreciate what you're doing to, get them off the streets. So, I mean, yeah. And I've got to give you a shake for that, because that takes a heart.
Thank you. It's the current status quo is just unacceptable, to be having people living without shelter, living in standards that are what would not be allowed even according to our regulations of in Kitsap County, we have regulations, for example, of what's considered to be humane for our pets. And Title 17 of the Kitsap County Code, Chapter 7, describes that a person living in Kitsap County is required to provide adequate shelter, point 2 on this code 7.04020, and it's an infraction, class 1 civil infraction if a person does not provide proper medical care and appropriate housing for a healthy, sanitary, and a safe manner. That's a violation of the law. And so why should something be a violation of the law for an animal, but yet we're allowing human beings to be in these kind of conditions? That is just, it's just incongruous. That's the situation. And then in state law, RCW 1652-205, under the cruelty to animals statute, it's a Class C felony for causing suffering and causing, if you have indifference, extreme indifference to life for an animal, up to 5 years prison and $10,000 fine. So if we have these kind of rules for animals, then we need to have some rules for human beings, because these people are disabled. These people need help, and these people are a part of our families. These people are our relatives. The statistics are 18% of the population suffers some sort of mental illness, and 4% of the population at any 1 year suffers serious mental illness. So you and I know someone in my family that has a mental illness that's disabled by it, and statistically, probably everybody that's listening to this show could name at least one person in their extended family that is dealing with some of these issues. So these people that are homeless aren't just strangers. These are part of our family. These are our relatives. These are our aunts, our uncles, our mothers, our fathers, our children, our siblings, our nieces, our nephews. We cannot afford to just let these people live under these kind of conditions that we have. We must take action, and it takes everybody's action. There's something that everyone can get involved.
Wow, that is so beautiful. And I'm going to ask you, and this is just playing the advocate, but I was going to ask you, why should people care about people on the street? And then I thought, okay, well, it could be you. Could be you on the street. Could be Joe here helping you to get off the street, or help a relative to get off the street and into housing. So that's why you should care.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Because the people that we have, right now in the 12 houses that we have people from all walks of life. We have from every kind of job, even doctors and a lawyer, because mental health, or you can get in a car accident and you can have traumatic brain injury, and it can have the same permanent chronic symptoms as serious mental illness. And so we are vulnerable to our brains, all of our brains, like any other organ in our body, our heart, our liver. We can have problems with any organ in our body, including our brains, and it's not a person's fault. I wear glasses when I drive for distance, but no one says to me, "Oh, why are you wearing glasses? You should try to see harder." It's not a person's fault because they have some dysfunction in a part of their body or the brain. We need to have compassion on them, and like you said, we all are in a situation where we all could be in this situation. And so we need to change the system so that we have a safety net for people in this situation. Because if you have a traumatic brain injury, the government is not going to take care of you. They don't have money right now to provide housing for people, and unless you have over $5 million, because even if you have an insurance policy for long-term disability care, those policies have limits on them, a $500,000 limit, a $1 million limit, and if you go into assisted living, or if you go into a nursing home, money would run out in about 5 years or so. So we need to have the system changed to provide for these people.
Okay, man, thank you. Very, very well said. I appreciate that. You guys that didn't see the show last week, what I asked Joe to do was write me down a list of questions, and these are questions that I want to be sure get answered. Instead of me doing an interview per se back and forth, this is more like a feature. We're letting people know, featuring Kitsap Homes of Compassion. Not per se interview, questions here and there, but I just want to be sure that you're featured, that you get out there and be sure and answer the questions that you want for sure to be answered. So I will continue with number 7, which is where we left it last week, or left off. So besides creating affordable housing from sharing single-family homes, what other services does Kitsap Homes of Compassion provide or plan to provide in the future?
Yeah, in addition to creating a room that a person can rent, that they have their own private room, they can lock their door, we also provide a house manager, like a case manager, who comes to the house once a week and meets with the residents of the house to have a group meeting with the residents, so that if there's any disagreements or conflicts that need to be resolved, this person can help in that way to ensure that the house is operating smoothly. It also ensures for the person who owns the house, that we're leasing the house from, that we can ensure that the house is being properly maintained. Mm-hmm. And the residents, they have like a chore chart. Everyone has responsibilities to take care of the house. And but in addition to that, basic services, house managers also connect people to different agencies, different support. If they need medical support, we know who to contact for that. If they need help from KMH, we know who to contact with that. So we can point people in different directions in the county to show them where they can get various services for where they need assistance. But in addition to that, it's been found that 2 things, particularly with people who are dealing with brain disorders or mental illness, that there are 2 things that are very helpful, and one is having employment. And so we have a person on our Kitsap Homes of Compassion staff who his job is to help the residents, our members. We call them family members, because when you're in a family home, you're a family member. Mm-hmm. And to help our members gain short-term employment. And so that person helps them work with WorkSource. WorkSource have staff dedicated to helping people with special disabilities, because companies, they have special positions that companies create for people with all sorts of disabilities. And so we want everybody who wants to have a job to get a job, a paying job. And they could, if they're able to work 5 hours, 10 hours, or 20 hours. Some of them on disability, they can only earn so many dollars per month, but at least they can earn up to that amount, and it gives them dignity and respect. This population deserves dignity and respect. And second of all, what we provide, this person in charge of employment, we go through the Strength Finders book, and it helps each person to find out what their strengths are. Because if you know your strengths, you can know what kind of a job that you would be good in, that you would enjoy doing. And so finding your strengths, because a lot of people in this population have been isolated, and the people have said terrible things to them, and they don't realize that everybody has some strengths, and their strengths where they are better than the general population. Some people can be good at painting, some people could be good in various different things. And so when people find their strengths, their niche, then they can really blossom and be very financially, it will help them out and help them in their total health.
Well, thank you so much for letting us know. We've still got a lot of information to get to, so we will take a break for a minute or 2, and we will be right back with Joe Adamson from Kitsap Homes of Compassion.
Thank you.
Be right back. And welcome back to Dean Bostic's television show, Charities. And today we're sitting with Mr. Joe Adamson from Kitsap Homes of Compassion. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Break for a second.
Thank you, Dean.
And yes, we'll pick up where we left off at. We've got some more questions to get to. So how is the program funded?
Well, that's a good question, because funding is how everybody, the lifeblood of everything is through the funds. And most of the program is funded by the homeless themselves, because most of people who are homeless receive some disability or SSI or SSDI, and so they have monthly income. It's just that their income is not enough to rent an apartment, or rent a one-bedroom apartment or a studio apartment. So they pay a monthly fee for their room, and so they subsidize the program, and so basically they pay for the program. Now, we do require, if you go to our website, kitsaphoc.org, we have all the information on our website, and we do require donations to be able to start a new house, because it costs about $5,000 for every new house that we start. Once it's started and we get it filled with residents that are paying monthly the program fee, then it pays for itself. The monthly fee they pay from their Social Security funds the program. But to get it, every house we start, we need $5,000 in donations. We're trying to raise $15,000 right now to start 3 more houses between now and the end of this calendar year. That's how we operate. And and how we have such low expenses is because up to this point, up to just about 2 weeks ago, everybody on our staff, we have over 30 volunteers, and all of our staff is volunteers. We don't have, up until 2 weeks ago, we didn't have any paid staff. We just have 2 part-time staff, one 10 hours a week and one 5 hours a week, started a couple weeks ago. But besides those 2, all the other 30 people are volunteering, and that's how we're able to make it so low. And so our administrative expenses are less than 1%. 99% of all the money that we receive, either from donations or from the monthly fee that people pay, it goes into the program, to paying the lease on the houses, paying all the utilities, paying for internet and cable TV and the landline telephone, providing these services to these individuals. We do plan, and so if someone wanted to make a donation to help us start some more houses, they can go to our website, kitsaphoc.org, and there is a donate tab on that there, and they could click on that and make a donation. But if someone's not able to donate, we understand. We're not asking for donations, especially if you're financially, if you're not able to, we understand. But everyone can take action and get involved. We need everybody in the community to take action. Take action by writing your commissioners, if you live in the county, emailing your leadership, that the city mayors, writing your representatives. We need to let them know that having homeless people being homeless, living in inhumane conditions is not acceptable, and we need our government to take action on a federal level, on a state level, and on a local level. We need our government authorities who have been elected in authority to take action and take leadership, because it really does not take, as we've demonstrated in the last 12 months, with just 30 volunteers and just $5,000 to start a home, which permanently changes the life of 5 people. It doesn't take a huge amount of resources to change this problem. If our government has the willpower to want to make a change, we can eliminate homelessness across the United States. And so we need everybody to take action and get involved. The different programs we offer, our main program is to seniors, and not seniors as in we start at 55 and older, but then we went down to 40 years old. So it's really just mature adults. The average age of our resident is about 60 years old in our homes. But another program that we have is we're starting a home just for veterans, a veterans home. Then another program that we started a week ago is a program for Olympic College, homeless Olympic College students. We just opened a house for homeless students, and that's in partnership with Coffee Oasis. And then a fourth program that we have is for homeless young mothers with children that become homeless because maybe domestic violence, or maybe they became homeless through other issues that they're dealing with, maybe disabilities they're dealing with. And so we have a house, a 5-bedroom house, where 5 mothers are living in it, and they each have a small child. And so we have these 5 different programs. And in January, we're going to be starting a program for younger adults, age 18 to 40 years old, so that we cover the full span of the population that are homeless of all ages.
And sir, now what was your website again? I'm sorry.
Kitsap, HOC.org. KITSAP, HOC.org.
I know people can make donations through your website, but what else what else does your website offer?
Our website is full of information. Our website has information. If a person wants to become a volunteer with our organization, there's an application there under the Documents tab. Also under the Documents tab, we have copies of the contract that all the people who live in our homes agree to, the house rules that they agree to live by. We also have an article there called Kitsap Homes in Crisis is one of the tabs, with a 17-page article about the causes of homelessness in Kitsap County and the causes of the housing affordability crisis. So there's just a lot of information that a person can read about Kitsap County's and about our organization on our website.
So what are some of the specific requirements, and how do you ensure the safety of your house and neighbors? I mean, what does it take to, do you have to be disabled? Do you have to be out of some type of incarceration? What's your requirements to volunteer?
Yeah, our housing is not designed for people who are coming out of incarceration. Our housing is mainly for people who are homeless, and most of the people who are homeless, who are chronically homeless, that's for over 6 to 12 months are homeless, they're homeless, most of them because of a serious mental illness or another brain disorder like a car accident causes traumatic brain injury. And so the requirements are, one, that they're actually outside homeless. There's 2 types of homeless categories: indoor homeless, that's couch surfing, or outside homeless, that's living in their car or a tent, or living in a homeless shelter is considered being outside homeless. Then they have to have income, because we are, like I said, we are funded by the homeless themselves, pay most of the cost. So they have to have at least right now $700 a month of income by Social Security, either SSI, SSDI, or regular Social Security. Number 3 is they have no violent crime in the last 3 years. We want to create a safe environment, house for people. So if they don't have a history of violent crime, they're probably not going to have violence in our homes, and that's what the police say and what history says. Especially if someone's older, they've gone 40 or 50 years without any crime, they're in good shape. And most of our residents, probably over 75% of them, have never had a crime in their entire life. They have a completely clean record from any crime. Another requirement is not on the sex offender list. Another one is no illegal drug use in the last 9 months. Our homes are not halfway houses. There are other organizations that operate similar houses as halfway houses, but that's not what we are operating. We're operating houses to help those with disabilities that are homeless. And then we have had, they have to be age 40 years old or older, but starting in January, we'll be going down to 18 years old. And as far as alcohol drinking, the rules, we have half of our houses don't allow any alcohol, and half of our houses do allow some drinking, but they cannot be intoxicated in the house. And so all this and all of our requirements you can find on our website under the Documents tab, under the questionnaire page, under Documents at the bottom of the questionnaire, there's a list of all the requirements.
Okay, got you. And how do you measure your results? Or is there a way to measure your results? Or?
Yes, we have metrics on how we know we're performing, and we want people to move into our homes who want to be there long term. This is not a temporary housing. We want them to possibly live in the house if the rest of their life, 10 or 20 years, if they're enjoying it. And so we measure how many people have moved in. So as of August 1st, we housed 58 people. And now 47 of those people were still living on August 1st. So 11 of them had moved out, but that means that 19% had moved out. Part of that 19%, like 3%, were 2 people that moved out to better housing. 2 people, they moved into a relative, or they moved into their own apartment that was subsidized. But we had 12% who couldn't obey the rules, and they had to be expelled from the program. But when you consider all of the people and that they've been homeless for years, only having 12% not being able to follow the rules is really quite a low number. So if we can have that kind of results going forward into our future, if we have 75 to 80% of our residents staying there happily long term, that's what our goal is. So every quarter we go through and we calculate results, statistics on how many people have moved into our houses, how many have moved out, how many don't want to move out, and how many are enjoying where they're living and staying put. And we're very pleased with the number of people that enjoy living there, because they can leave at any time. There's no, people are allowed to move out at any time they want. They're not required to be there, but they are not moving out. They're 80% of them are staying right there, and they're very grateful, and they thank us for providing this affordable place to live for them.
Wow, seems like you guys should have received an award or something. Have you received any awards?
Yeah, well, actually we did receive
wow.
an award from the Kitsap County Coalition for Ending Homelessness. In 2018 in December, we received the award for innovation, the Innovation Award. And so we're very pleased about that. And I've been told that the City of Bremerton Police Department next week is going to be providing us. They decided our organization was chosen for their fundraising program, and they're going to be providing a check for our organization next week. So we're very honored, because the more people that we get housed, oftentimes it's the less phone calls, 911 phone calls that the police have to respond to for various issues. And so having people in steady, stable homes provides it creates a situation that's better for everybody. Less services of our hospitals and our EMTs and our police and sheriff, and it's just, our cities are not meant to be campgrounds. Camping is for the forest and for national parks, and so we need to provide real housing for those who are disabled and really need it.
Wow. You know, we still got a lot of information to go to. So what I'd like for you to do, if you have time or if you're available, to come back.
Sure.
We have several parts to this show. There's a lot of information that people need to know. So we will come back, if you're available, come back next show, and we can continue the list that you wrote, that you want to be sure the people hear about. And thank you so much for coming today.
Well, thank you, Dean.
I'll see you soon.
Great.
Like super soon.
Yeah.
Thank you again so much. Everybody, thank Joel
you
for his heart, as far as what he's doing, as far as doing this for strangers. Kind of letting people know that some people do still care about what's going on. So thank you again, Joel.
Thank you, Dean.
Look forward to seeing you soon.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.